Your space is speaking. Are you listening? You keep telling yourself you'll clean your room when you have more time, organize your desk when life calms down, fold the laundry when you feel more motivated, and clear the kitchen counter when your mind feels less exhausted. But what if the order is reversed? What if your mind is not waiting for peace so you can clean, but waiting for you to clean so it can finally experience peace? What if that clutter surrounding you is not just random physical debris, but a live broadcast of your internal state? What if your bedroom, your office, your car, your kitchen, your overflowing inbox, and your neglected corners are all quietly revealing something deeper about your unresolved emotional world? Today, we need to confront a truth many people avoid. Your physical surroundings often mirror the unresolved chaos in your mind. And until you learn to read that mirror honestly, you may keep trying to solve internal exhaustion without ever addressing the environment constantly feeding it. Your environment is never neutral. Every room you enter is communicating with your nervous system. Every visible object sends a signal. Every unfinished pile, every unopened package, every scattered paper, every overflowing drawer, every abandoned project silently tells your brain something about safety, order, predictability, and control. Most people think clutter is visual. It is not. Clutter is neurological. It is psychological. It is emotional. It is energetic. Your brain does not simply see clutter, it processes it as unfinished business. That pile of clothes on the chair, your mind reads it as unresolved responsibility. The dishes in the sink, deferred decisions. The unopened mail, avoided uncertainty. The desk covered in papers, fragmented attention. The crowded bedroom, cognitive overload. The garage filled with boxes, emotional backlog. Every unfinished physical task becomes an open psychological loop. Your brain keeps tracking it, whether you consciously notice it or not. This is why messy spaces feel so draining. Not because the mess is offensive, but because your brain is doing invisible labor trying to manage it. Every item in your line of sight quietly asks a question. What are you going to do with me? Keep me? Move me? Clean me? Decide later? Ignore me? Your mind must process those micro decisions constantly. This is called decision debt. And just like financial debt, it accumulates interest. The longer you delay, the heavier it feels. Many people wrongly label themselves as lazy when surrounded by clutter. But most clutter is not laziness. It is delayed emotional processing. The pile of unopened letters may not mean you are irresponsible. It may mean you are anxious about uncertainty. The overflowing closet may not mean you are disorganized. It may mean you are afraid to let go of former versions of yourself. The junk drawer may not be random. It may be a museum of postponed choices. This is why cleaning feels emotionally harder than it should. You think you are organizing objects, but often you are confronting identity. That old notebook you cannot throw away may represent a dream you abandoned. That shirt you never wear may represent a body you used to have. That broken appliance you keep meaning to fix may symbolize your resistance to accepting loss. That stack of books you bought but never read may represent the version of yourself you hope to become. This is aspirational clutter. Physical evidence of identities you are not ready to grieve. Many of us use physical objects as emotional placeholders. We keep things not because we need them, but because letting them go feels like surrendering a part of ourselves. That is why decluttering can feel surprisingly painful. You are not just discarding objects, you are releasing stories. And the longer clutter remains, the more it begins shaping identity. You stop saying, "My room is messy," and start saying, "I'm just a messy person." You stop seeing it as temporary and start absorbing it as truth. This is dangerous because your environment begins reinforcing your self-concept. Every time you look at the mess, it quietly tells you, you are overwhelmed, you are behind, You are disorganized. You are failing. Eventually, your space becomes a feedback loop reinforcing helplessness. Then comes shame. Shame is what keeps the cycle alive. You see the mess and feel embarrassed. That embarrassment drains energy. Because you feel drained, you avoid the task. The avoidance creates more clutter. The clutter creates more shame, and the cycle repeats. This is not about dishes anymore. It is about identity entrapment. Your brain also interprets clutter as unpredictability. The human nervous system craves cues of safety. Order signals safety. Predictability signals safety. Structure signals safety. Chaos signals uncertainty. When your visual environment feels chaotic, your brain quietly remains on alert. It enters low-grade survival mode. Stress hormones rise, focus decreases, emotional regulation weakens. You become more reactive, less patient, and more mentally fatigued. Not because life got harder, but because your surroundings are telling your brain something is unresolved. This is why people often feel instant relief after cleaning. It is not simply satisfaction. It is nervous system recalibration. The room changed, yes, but so did the body. The mind interprets restored order as restored safety. This is why tidying can become a profound emotional tool. Cleaning is not punishment. It is not moral performance. It is not proof of discipline. It is nervous system care. It is emotional regulation. It is a conversation with your future self. It is a declaration, I deserve peace. Imagine changing your perspective entirely. What if washing dishes was not a chore, but a neural reset? What if making your bed was not routine, but psychological grounding? What if clearing your desk was not productivity theater, but mental decluttering? What if folding laundry was a mindfulness practice? What if vacuuming was a symbolic release of accumulated emotional residue? When you shift cleaning from maintenance to reclamation, everything changes. The smallest acts become powerful. Clearing one drawer can change your mood. Why? Because your brain experiences completion. Completion creates relief. Relief creates momentum. Momentum creates agency. Agency creates hope. This is why one tiny win matters. You do not need to clean the whole house. You need to interrupt helplessness. One shelf, one corner, one sink, one chair, one surface. That is enough to tell your brain, I can influence my environment. I am not powerless. This is how healing often begins, not through dramatic transformation, but through small acts of restored agency. But true environmental healing also requires curiosity. Instead of asking, why am I so messy? Ask, what is this mess protecting me from? What emotion is hidden here? Fear, exhaustion, grief, decision fatigue, burnout, resistance, sadness, anxiety, loneliness. Sometimes the clutter is protecting you from confronting deeper truths. The unopened boxes may represent postponed adulthood. The messy room may create a convenient distraction from emotional pain. If you are always dealing with stuff, you never have to sit quietly with yourself. This is why some people unconsciously create chaos. Noise protects them from silence. Busyness protects them from reflection. Disorder protects them from emotional confrontation. But peace requires stillness, and stillness requires courage. A clean space invites stillness. A clear room makes silence audible, and silence often reveals what we have been avoiding. That is why many people immediately reach for their phones after cleaning. The room became quiet, and suddenly their own thoughts became louder. That discomfort is important. It means you are finally hearing yourself. This is why your home matters. It is not just shelter, it is an emotional ecosystem. It either supports healing or drains it. It either restores you or depletes you. A sanctuary does not require luxury. It requires intentionality. A single candle, a made bed, natural light, a clear table, open floor space, a chair for reading, a corner for prayer, a desk that invites focus, a kitchen that welcomes nourishment. These things are not decorative. They are psychological signals. They tell your nervous system, you are safe here. You can rest here. You can think here. You can breathe here. Minimalism is not about owning less for aesthetic reasons. It is about reducing visual negotiation. Every unnecessary object steals attention. Every intentional object gives it back. Ask yourself, what does this room tell my brain every day? Does it whisper stress or peace? Does it invite reaction or reflection? Does it create urgency or calm? Your environment trains your mind whether you realize it or not. And maintaining order is not about perfection. Perfection is another trap. You do not need a spotless house. You need a trustworthy environment, one that consistently supports your mental health instead of sabotaging it. That means creating rituals, 5 minutes of resetting each evening, clearing one surface before bed, opening a window every morning, making your bed before checking your phone, putting things back where they belong. Protecting empty space. Empty space is not wasted space. It is mental breathing room. And in a world obsessed with filling everything, our calendars, our shelves, our screens, our schedules, protecting empty space becomes radical self-care. Because every open surface says, you don't have to hold everything. Every clear floor says, you can move freely. Every organized drawer says, your life is manageable. Every clean room says, peace is possible. So if your surroundings currently feel chaotic, do not shame yourself. Listen. Your space is speaking. It may be saying, you're overwhelmed. You need rest. You've been avoiding grief. You've outgrown this version of yourself. You are carrying too much. You need closure. You need support. You need a reset. Listen without judgment. Then begin, not with perfection, with one deliberate act. Clear the chair, wash the cup, open the mail, fold the blanket, throw away the expired items, donate the clothes, make the bed. Not because your house demands it, because your mind deserves it. Your environment is not separate from your healing. It is part of your healing, and every act of restoring order externally is a quiet vote for internal peace. Because healing is not always dramatic. Sometimes healing looks like wiping the kitchen counter. Sometimes growth looks like taking out the trash. Sometimes self-respect looks like putting your shoes away. And sometimes the first step toward mental clarity is simply deciding that your peace deserves a home. Mind care is self-care. Heal your space, and your mind will finally have room to breathe.